All right, in this video, doing a recap. I'm going to talk about the algo service, guys. I just told my guys over the weekend I'm going to code out some of the model. I'm going to start running it on stocks, and I'll have another recap for like what you could have done on Tesla with options today using the algo product. But I think what's cool is I can share the code if you guys are in the algo service group, and we're running this on all markets. I just kind of started mostly on equities and the indices as far as futures. But this is great that I can build out the code, the Pine script, and share it with you for anybody that's part of the algo team. And so you can put it on your own charts. So if you're day trading, the 1 minute scalps are helpful. Swing trade model had NASDAQ long this week. It's a great reference, and then you can trade with it. So I could do that for you guys in the team. So it's cool. Check it out. I'll go over a little bit more at the end of the video. I want to touch on what I did on the NASDAQ. Really nice morning being long in the queues. This is pretty much exactly what I talked about yesterday, played out as far as this is the move you're looking for off the open, boom. And then you had your secondary drop, and there was a secondary trade later after, I think, 10:30. So I'll get into that, but notice here with the cycles in the model, this will help with your timing. It does a really good job. Got out here on the 1 minute, kept you out of this mess. I ended up actually buying, I think, S&Ps here, and then I ended up buying on the anticipatory method pretty close to the lows. I'm going to go over how you can follow a swing line on the way down to help with your timing. So if you're early, you don't have to, you can kind of sidestep this and wait for the swing line. But I mean, look at what the model's just nailing the cycles here. Buying, selling, buying, selling. Again, out right there, trend change gets you out of the way of all this. And there's actually a couple scalps there. This is kind of garbage time around lunch, but just doing a really nice job. So I've been working hard coding that out and putting all the trend and cycle factors into this. So it's really helpful. And I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. So here's S&P on the left, 5 minute. All right, put NASDAQ in the middle. I want to actually bring up the 1 minute. And I'll put Russell over here. The only mistake I made today on Russell is not staying short. But all right, so right out of the gate, I was just going with NASDAQ right here. This is exactly what I was going over with the guys this week. I think I highlighted in the video yesterday. So right out of the gates, you're just going with the power. This is a real money candle. You just go with it. Right. And again, I'm kind of looking for this move. So here's the first push up. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars up. I added, and again, inside of this bar, there's a lot of movement. So what ends up happening is the bars goes like this. Then it goes bearish. And the color comes back down, and then the color comes back up. Right? And the bar goes higher. So that's pretty fast action. It's actually pretty fun to trade. So what I do though is when the bar goes up, I buy. As it pushes higher, I take profit. When the candle starts to lose its color, it starts to retrace, I end up buying more, and then that color changes, it goes back up, take profit. So that's kind of right in the side of the first 5 minutes. That's how you look at that. But directionally, it's buy here. There's like an add or two, take into the push to new highs. And then this is, if you put these two bearish candles together, it forms what we call a BCI. You can actually add when that gets taken out. And then you got the secondary push. So that's your first move up. All right, and then in the context of this, here's your first 1 minute pullback. I bought that with the cycle, and then here's your secondary move. Usually the secondary move is the bigger one. So up in your secondary move, and then I'm out right here pretty much. Reason I started getting out there was because it was up a good amount. And I was adding in here. This was Michigan was 10 o'clock. This got a little bit dicey, but I ended up adding and reducing in here. Okay, and then added to it. And then here it's just you're at new highs. The cycles were high in the 15-minute. It's been a good run. And then what I'm watching for at that point was a swing line, and you can see it on the 5-minute. So I'm not going to go into all the details because my guys know this, but if you follow the swing line up, again, this is Michigan right here, so it kind of broke through it, but you didn't close below that. And then right there, boom. Like that kind of initial move up is over. So you're not trying to trade every move long all day. You got to use your 5-minute cycles. And when that swing line breaks, that's the first sign of trouble. Okay. And then when you go to the 1 minute, that swing line is about right there. All right. And then you break down, and then notice the direction of the 8 is down on the 1 minute. And this starts to make lower highs and lower lows. So during this, actually, I think I went short there once this started to break. A short S&P, I think it was a small trade somewhere down here. And then just kind of letting this 5-minute cycle play out. And after you've had a good morning, you don't need to be in a rush to get long. Like this wasn't a bad edge to buy. But again, you're still in the context of this down move here in the immediate short term. But you'll see on the 5-minute, better spot was at the bottom of the 5-minute cycle down here. So I bought into this push down. First, I started with S&P after being short. And then I was trading the minis on the NASDAQ on this way down short. Just freed up my room to be willing to buy it here. And then the reason it's anticipatory, you don't get the swing line on the 5-minute to change on the reverse until right here. All right. So this is pretty much a bull 180. And then so there's a couple more trades here. Oops, sorry, 1 second. There's a couple more cycles on the 1 minute here. And this is a little uptrend after making a higher low on the 5-minute. So you kind of have to trade this turn a little bit. And then on the 1 minute, you can see here's the higher lows. And this is your cycle, your cycles here. So up, low in the cycle, low in the cycle, low in the cycle, low in the cycle. So those are your chances to buy in that little uptrend. Woo. And I think I was done pretty much day traded somewhere up there. What I did on the Russell did the kind of reverse. So the first pop push down is down. There's your entry. It's the opposite of what NASDAQ did. That's the footprint of money. Boom, down short. I sold it, covered, and then you had a pop back up. And I think I sold into this right there. So that's the wall concept. The bears put in a nice wall. On that first push up, about halfway, you can start to fade it. You fade that 50%, 618, and then you get the drop. And I think I covered really early just because I was pretty focused on what I had going on with the NASDAQ that was working. But this you could have just let this run all day. It would have been a really nice trade. That was the only thing I probably could have done better there. But short, good entries, covered. That's good covers. Just trailing that out was pretty easy. Should have just left the piece. There's some trailing stop rules. I mean, it was absolutely cratered. There's some trailing stop rules you can use. I won't get into that in this video. If you just trailed it 5-minute 8, you would have been out there on your last piece. That's the power of the swing line. There's some other trailing stop methods you can use also. That's pretty much it directionally. So kind of what that looked like. Here's the move up, guys. NASDAQ, boom. Add, reduce, take some profit, add. Took out that BCI. I actually took profits on the high of that BCI, but I added, I think, on the minis at that point. Oh, no, I didn't. I guess I was long enough from this ad that I didn't want to add. But you could add, I added earlier, you could add on the break above the high. But then this is taking profit. I added actually one more time. Here's the 1-minute pullback. Time that up with the low here. I like to use the %K when it gets below 20. Boom, long. Came out at the top of the cycle. There's another trade. Came out into these highs resistance. Bought again. And then I added into the highs. Once I'm up a decent amount, I'll get a little bit more aggressive. And yeah, that's the minis. I was doing pretty much similar. When I take profit on the full contract, like here, if I take profit on the full contract, if I don't get a dip and this just keeps pushing to the highs, I go to the 1-minute because that way I can still be long NASDAQ and take advantage of the move up. But I'm not trying to be greedy on the full contract. So I'd rather chase it with the minis. And then I'll wait for the deeper 1-minute setbacks to buy full contract. Here's the Russell short. I guess I missed that first push down. Could have been short first push down. I guess I just got busy long NASDAQ. But here's that secondary bounce I was talking about. I started it there, sold into the high, covered some, and left a bunch on the table. There's the same NASDAQ trade. NASDAQ, and this is S&P. So S&P, because I was short the Russell, I didn't hedge with any S&P. But when we got high here, after making some money, I think coming into just before Michigan, I was a little bit long minis, I think, and out of the money. So I just sold S&P. And then my thinking was if we got a drop down, I was going back to the long side of NASDAQ, which I ended up doing there. So once the news came out, just had a quick move on Michigan at 10. I sold there short because I took this long. And then I made money. I made more money long NASDAQ, and I just ended up cutting that, taking risk off. So it's a small hedge. So I can be short S&P, but more aggressive long NASDAQ and make money. So a nice day overall. It did $5,000, I think. I had another. Oh, this is one more trade. So later in the day, you had the pullback on the 5-minute. Yeah, this is what I wanted to highlight. You had, here's the end of that move. I talked about the swing line. And then just waiting for this 5-minute cycle to play out. This is the 1-minute chart, but the 5-minute cycle is playing out. And then here, when that swing line breaks, I go a little bit contrarian short the minis. Or no, sorry, I was long minis there. So I stopped and then I ended up getting short minis. You can see I covered and made a little bit. Shorted again, cover. And at this point, I actually started going a little bit long minis first. And then once that cycle starts to play out, the 1-minute was deep, then I buy NASDAQ. Took profits on that. Took profits It's on that again. That was that 1 minute, these 1 minute cycles I was talking about. I showed already. And then once I was long here, I came out of this long. I ended up going short, just small, that just to be busy and kind of have something on the short side. But that didn't. Those contracts were small. I ended up still making money on minis because of the move up. I was long minis, gave some back in minis, got short minis, got long minis, back short. But this I was mostly just is kind of ancillary and scratches the itch on the 1 minute or the 1 minute in the tick chart. But I'm really mostly playing NASDAQ full contract. And then here's, just to summarize one more time, here's the NASDAQ long, and this is my S&P short. So I was dragging that hedge short into the highs. Then once this rolled over, the first uptick, I just sold it, made a little bit there, just to kind of play that down cycle on the 5 minute. And then I actually bought S&P long first and waited to buy NASDAQ. And then I got NASDAQ to buy deeper. The S&P won't get down as much as NASDAQ. So if you start your long up here on NASDAQ, you're not going to be able to hold it all the way back here in the down 5 minute cycle. This is a long way to drag along. So I was long here, came out, and then I'm still long S&P, so I was fine with selling the NASDAQ there in case the market kept going up. And then it pushed a little bit higher. I took profit on that. And then I wanted to be back involved on the NASDAQ once the swing line shifted. That's it, guys. Here's the, again, on this, the algo stuff was such a huge help. Like, here's the buys, here's the buys. This is where the swing line changed or out. Here's these scalps I took on a secondary trade. This is where I bought anticipatory bottoming tail. Break here. You can note a hedge. It's where I sold S&Ps. So use this to your advantage. If you go to cycleedgecapital.com, this is such a great value, as is $250 lifetime early access. All right. This algo stuff I'm going to be selling for monthly subscriptions of $100 a month. And included in this price, the $250, you get both of these services too. So that's 300 or 250 a year. It's $30 a month. I think I have it at 200 to $300 for the annual. And this is $600 for the annual. So you're getting both of these $800, and you're getting the algo for $250. So it's a no-brainer. All right, and then I'll do another update later. I wanted to touch on options around like what Tesla did with the bot today. Could have bought some really nice cheap calls when NASDAQ was oversold. I'll get into that later. You could have bought Tesla here. So we're going to be running the algo on stocks as well. Tesla will be one of the main ones. Back here, right into pie, when NASDAQ was bottoming, these 280 calls were 50 cents. They ended up trading as high as $5 into this move. So you 6 times your money just off of this cycle. And the bot picked up the low exactly on that move, on the 1 minute and 5 minutes. So I'm going to be covering that in addition with the options. I'll probably include the options course as some sort of deal there as well. So if you're new to options, you can play some of these strategies and learn how we do it around the model. But it's just a great another tool to day trade. I mean, gosh, you can even use Robinhood for cheap, no commission, easy type of trade. So anyway, guys, have a great weekend. I'll be busy doing some stuff over the weekend. I'll probably reach out via email, but join us in the Discord and sign up for the algo service. Don't and hit the like buttons on the YouTube and all that stuff. Kind of help the channel. I got to be better at that. But yeah, cycleedgecapital.com, the algo service. It's a steal right now. And if you do want to join the inner circle group and learn to do the day trading stuff that I just went over, we're trading together Tuesdays and Thursday. That program is right there. All right. All right, guys, be good. Be safe. Talk to you.